luck.
You're late.
Yes, there was a delay at the dry cleaners.
I thought true blue types like you didn't believe in excuses, Fraser.
Well, you're quite right, and I'm sorry for apologizing. If I'd only noticed the smoke earlier,
Smoke?
Well, yes. Apparently, the pressing machine short-circuited. Now, by the time I got the cashiers out, racks A through E were already in flames, and I was only able to save this. I'm afraid it's a little singed.
You ran into a burning building to save a mohair sweater.
Yes, sir.
Well, pardon me if that sounds like sheer stupidity.
Yes, sir.
You don't agree?
No, sir. Stupidity would have been if I'd gone back in for your leather chaps.
Dismissed.
That's what you said yesterday.
Well, it may take a few days. You're a civil servant. There are formalities. I have to get confirmation from Ottawa. Or you could make it easy on me and request a transfer.
Yes, I suppose I could.
Think about it.
Yes, sir, I will.
Dismissed.
Don't you need your glasses, sir?
I don't wear glasses.
Understood.
Transfer request. I understand the leaves are changing in Kamloops.
You're the arresting officer, correct?
That's correct.
Detective, what time did you receive the call to go to the scene?
I got the call at around 9:15 and I arrived approximately 5 minutes later.
Please tell us what happened from the time you arrived outside the liquor store.
When I arrived, the crime scene had already been established. Uniformed officers had taped off the area and the medical examiner was in the process of removing the store owner's body.
Were there signs of a struggle?
No.
You thought about it yet, son?
It's only been an hour.
Well, you ought to, you know.
Dad.
4 feet.
Were there any witnesses on the scene?
Yes, an eyewitness had come forward, a Mrs. Rosanna Torres. I questioned the witness and based on her description was able to put together a lineup of probable suspects.
Was she able to make an identification?
Yes, she identified the accused.
Can you identify him, please?
Mr. Robert Kruger.
After Mr. Kruger was identified, you applied for a search warrant?
I did. And we found a 9mm handgun recently fired.
Which perfectly matched the bullet that killed Mr. Garcia. This ballistics report is State's Exhibit 23, Your Honor. What happened next, Detective?
I arrested Mr. Kruger on charges of armed robbery and first-degree murder.
Thank you. That's all.
You may leave the witness stand, Detective Vecchio.
I'd like to call Mrs. Rosanna Torres, Your Honor.
Rosanna Torres to the stand.
She wants me bad. I think she wants to kill you.
That too.
Mrs. Torres, on the night of June 14th, 1994, you were walking home along Center Street when you heard gunshots.
Shouldn't we wait and listen to her testimony?
No. It's all over now except for the shouting.
What shouting?
Can you describe to us what you saw when you turned and looked toward the sound of gunfire?
No.
You did not see the defendant exit as
Objection,
a liquor
leading.
store?
Sustained.
What did you see?
Nothing.
Nothing. What about your sworn statement to Detective Vecchio?
It was dark. I'm sorry.
What about your statement?
It was a mistake.
A mistake.
I tried to tell him,
All right,
but
what the hell's going on here?
Your Honor, I move for dismissal.
Both of you, in my chambers, now.
Great, just great.
reliability, relevance,
Armed robbery,
failure to
murder,
disclose,
criminal intent.
perjury.
Perjury?
Not to mention a blatant disregard of my client's Fifth and Seventh Amendment rights. If you don't rule on this immediately, I will file charges of misconduct faster than you can say subordination of a witness.
Save your grandstanding for the paying customers, Mr. Sedaris.
Will you rule on my motion to suppress the gun?
Judge,
No witness, no warrant, no warrant, no gun, no gun, no case. It's all fruit of the poison tree.
Miss Saint Laurent.
Judge, Detective Vecchio is an experienced officer with a commendable record.
Of manufacturing evidence.
Bull.
I caution you, Detective, you are still in the court's jurisdiction during this proceeding. What about your witness?
She just swore under oath that she didn't see him.
Oh, yeah? And I've got a signed deposition in my hands that says she did.
Your Honor, Detective Vecchio has a history with my client.
That's irrelevant, Your Honor.
We're in chambers. Nothing is irrelevant.
It's clearly persecution.
Oh, please give me a break.
Okay, let me get this straight. Detective Vecchio, you and Kruger have a history?
Yes, Your Honor. I arrested Mr. Kruger on similar charges 2 years ago.
My client walked on that, Your Honor. It's a case made entirely in Detective Vecchio's head, not unlike this one, apparently. You never got over that, did you?
He beat an old woman in a smoke shop and got off on a procedural foul-up.
And you have been on him ever since.
Oh, maybe that's just an overreaction to the fact that he keeps committing crimes.
What we have here is a woman who says you coerced her into giving false testimony.
She's lying, and maybe somebody ought to find out why.
You will have no further contact with the witness, understood?
Your Honor, I would like to request a postponement while the state revisits elements of the case.
I'll consider it, Miss Saint Laurent. In the meantime, this is what I want. A report on the lighting conditions outside the victim's store that evening, as it pertains to visibility. I want Mr. Kruger's previous arrest report, and most of all, I want your case notes on both incidents, Detective.
Your Honor, I'm not sure.
You do keep personal notes in your cases.
Well, I do, but I don't...
Get them. You've got till 3 o'clock this afternoon.
The witness says I coerced her.
Well, will your case notes prove that you're telling the truth?
No, but if I don't produce them, it'll look like I'm lying. Kruger walks and I'm toast.
Ah, Miss Saint Laurent.
Oh, God, the other one. Old habits die hard, eh, Vecchio?
Louise, did I neglect to tell you how fine, in a prosecutorial way, you look in that suit?
Do your friend a favor, Fraser. Convince him to find those case notes. I don't give second chances.
She's just playing hard to get.
Stairs.
Don't you think?
Think what?
That she's playing hard to get.
To get what?
Oh, never mind.
Unofficial case notes. And why do we keep them? Stupidity? Carelessness? Any ideas, Vecchio?
Well, they're my personal notes, sir. I didn't expect anybody to ask me to produce them.
No, we never do. We just jot things down on matchbooks or napkins. We don't use the proper forms. And then we're surprised when a lawyer accuses us of withholding things that shouldn't have existed in the first place.
Every cop in the station keeps a notebook, sir.
Yeah, but every cop doesn't hang on to them in the hope that someday they might incriminate them.